I've made a note of the pieces to camera we need to do today, because even though we've done 53 episodes, we rarely know where we are in the show.
Never know. Never know the order.
I've used a crushed toilet roll.
What did you use for a pen? Because we can never find paper or a pen.
I found a felt tip that Kiki last used when she was
Show
3.
them what's coming up.
So
you don't need to say it.
Well, these are just the pieces to camera. So this is the intro, which is the first one there.
Save it. We'll show them the next one.
Okay. So what we generally intro to is welcome to the show. Say welcome back.
Welcome.
And then where do we take them to?
Dogs.
To it.
Now we're going to go to the.
Jesus. What's next?
Intro into first dish.
Okay, so what is the first dish,
Oh,
babe?
we're very excited about this dish.
Give me
It's
back my
absolutely
notes.
delicious. And what's brilliant about it is, though it's meaty, it's perfect for vegans and vegetarians because it's really easy to make the teeniest twist and for it to be vegan or vegetarian. The most beautiful Middle Eastern shepherd's pie.
Right, where are we next? Oh, okay.
It's all going extraordinarily well when you think about it. How are we all? In our world, it is now Thursday, but of course you will be seeing this on Sunday. And we're still reeling from what happened in America yesterday. I love the way my dad says America. He always says America. America. So I am making today a Middle Eastern shepherd's pie with a Middle Eastern twist. Now there's good news here for vegetarians and vegans because my mash is going to be an olive oil, garlic and mint mash, so fine for vegans and vegetarians. And I'm using lamb because of course that's a very Middle Eastern meat, but you can just change that for whatever, you know, corn or whatever it is you use. Okay, so I've got a kilo of mash, a kilo of potatoes. So nicely peeled, chop them all the same size. I know loads of people know how to make mash and you're thinking, why are you telling me how to make mash? But lots of people don't. Lots of people have never ever cooked, and I think we assume too often that everybody knows how to do everything, the basics, and they don't. So you cut your potatoes into even size so that they all cook at the same time and you don't get a mushy mess. Into cold water, and the reason for that is if you put them in boiling water, the outside will cook before the middle does, and you'll get a mushy outside and a raw middle. So always into cold water and bring it up to the boil. I'm going to make my garlic olive oil for my mash. Good couple of tablespoons of olive oil, 3 big cloves of garlic. So it can take more, it's just I'm a bit low on garlic and you know, we're at war. See with the green stems in the middle, it's not good, it's a bit old. Yeah, I'm just going to bring that olive oil up to heat and then turn it off and just let the garlic just sit in it and slowly, almost confit. But what I'm going to do is roast my carrots and courgettes. If you don't like courgettes, don't put them in. And I prefer to buy less meat and buy good quality meat. So that's organic lamb, 500 grams of organic lamb. I don't want to lose the carrots. I don't want them to go to mush of nothing. That's why I'm roasting them. So they'll go onto my baking tray. And then I'm going to do the same with the courgettes. So many people don't like courgettes, it's such a shame. A really nice way to do courgettes, guys, if you just want them as a side dish and you don't think you like them, is steam them or just, you know, soften them. And then just add olive oil and garlic and a bit of parmesan. So I've taken that garlic out because I do not want it to go brown. So I'm just going to let the oil cool down a bit and then I'm just going to put the garlic back in and leave it to just sit and sort of soak. See, people like fried courgettes, don't they? They do courgette fries now, trying to get the Brits to eat courgettes. And so some cumin seeds. Again, faff. But when you actually look at what I'm doing, it's not that much faff, is it? I mean, how long's that taken? A couple of minutes. Rub the oil in. The reason I'm keeping them separately is just in case one browns too much quicker than the other one, I can get it out. When you mix them all up, it's annoying. Just think, oh God, those courgettes are getting brown far too quickly now. They're all mixed in with the carrot, really annoying. So into the oven, I've got that on 220, probably for about 15 minutes, it might be 20. Let them cook away. Okay, so I've got my my mince, and I'm going to brown that. Now this, I quite like getting a fattier meat. So this has got, I think this is 10% fat lamb. So I'm going to let that cook and let the lamb fat cook out. And then I'll take that out and I'll cook my onions in the lamb fat. I would have actually liked to put 4 big onions, but I haven't got that many onions. We are at war. We're at war with a deadly virus. So this really is shepherd's pie with a twist. It's a big twist. If you don't want the vegetables in at all, don't. You don't have to, and just come in from this point. In fact, I think what might be a safer thing to do is heat your oil, turn it off, and then put your garlic in, and just let it sit. That will be enough now for it to just cook down nicely. Just don't forget that's going to be instead of our butter and milk and our mash. Out with a slotted spoon. So keep that fat. Okay, now to that I'm going to add my onions. Potatoes are going nicely. The great thing about this as well, this isn't going to be cooked in the oven. So everything's cooking at the same time. So it all takes about 20 minutes. Potatoes will take 15, 20 minutes. Veg, this can just sit for as long as you want it to, really. So I'm just going to let that cook down a bit now. Okay, so that's starting to soften down now. So I'm going to add some spices in, some Middle Eastern spices. Again, you don't have to do this. But then it wouldn't be very Middle Eastern.
I was going to say, isn't that defeat the purpose of the recipe?
Exactly. So I've got some allspice here. It's so lovely, allspice berries. And I'm going to use ground, half a teaspoon. Now this is nice and fresh. If you've got some in the back of your cupboard, it's been there a while, you might need a bit more. I'm going to add a little cinnamon because it's very Middle Eastern, it's warming, it's nice at this time of year. And again, it goes really nicely with lamb, and it really takes us away from a traditional shepherd's pie. I want to be in your homes when you're giving this to your family and going, what's this got in it, Mum? Okay, I'm going to add a few more, half a teaspoon of cumin seed. Oh my God. Oh my God, that literally transports me to my auntie's kitchen. She always used allspice on lamb. Oh, Mark, don't you think it smells of Morocco as well? Moroccan food is very different actually from Middle Eastern food, but they use all these spices, but just in a different way. Garlic! So I'm going to use 3 or 4 cloves again, as I always say, use what's right for you. See? Oh my god, I want to eat this now, and it's breakfast time. Actually thinking, like I always do when I'm cooking for you guys, I was thinking, as I usually do, oh god, my dad will love this. And then I remembered he's on a strict veganuary. So maybe I'll put it in the freezer for them. I think they will love this. Because you won't eat this, will you, Mark?
Yeah.
Mark doesn't like lamb. Lift one out. And you want your nowhere near. You want your knife to really easily slide right through to the middle. Otherwise, you will get lumpy mash. Because it's sticking. It's not very non-sticky, this pan. Okay. I always fry my black pepper, because black pepper is a spice. It needs to be fried to bring out the flavour. Oh God, I could just eat these onions just like this. Oh, you know this mixture I've done here at this point? You get the onions really, really even softer. This would be a really nice, for vegans and vegetarians, base to a chickpea curry. So you could just add your chickpeas once this is all nice and softened, and then add either coconut milk or tomatoes and cook it down further. Also, this spicy onion mixture would be really nice just topped on a plain fish like a cod or a sea bass or plaice. I actually forgot about the veg, it might be burnt. Oh, it's not. It's actually taking longer than I thought. Maybe you need to give it half an hour, not 20 minutes. So get that in first before you start cooking all the rest of the stuff. There you go.
The only reason I haven't said how gorgeous it smells in here is because I'm concentrating on getting the shop space.
Oh my God, the smell. I just said to him, I've said to you 3 times, does it smell lovely in there? And you haven't said yes once.
You know it does.
But then someone's going to start thinking it doesn't smell lovely.
No, but I wanted to get the flick of the spices in the sunlight.
So look at that onion now. Can you imagine that like piled on top of some plain fish? How delicious that would be. So I'm putting my lamb back in.
Could you add some mark to this?
It would get a bit lost. I did think about it. I thought about putting some in the mash because I thought it might look pretty. But it would get lost, I think, the flavour. I've got a pint of stock there. Vegans, vegetarians, add here your mushroom stock, will be fine. I made a mistake there. When you put your lamb in, I've made a mistake there. Put in a dessert spoonful of flour and fry that in, and then it will thicken up the gravy. I'll have to add a thickener now. Funny enough, that's a low salt stock I've got. I buy this low salt stock and then I add salt because it's low salt stock.
Say it again, low
salt stock. Low salt stock. It's taking forever, these potatoes. Ooh, still not ready. And you see how our garlic is going lovely and mushy now. That would be so nice in the mash. So because I didn't add that flour when I fried in the lamb to thicken the sauce, I'm just going to use a bit of corn flour. So that's a heaped teaspoonful of corn flour, and you always mix it separately from your dish. So some cold water, and it goes a bit funny to begin with, then you just keep stirring, and then you just pour it into your liquid. And that will thicken it up, look, like magic.
Crazy, isn't it?
I remember with the kids, I used to play with them endlessly. Big bag of corn flour and water, and it goes sticky, and it has so many different stages it goes through. Really liquidy, then really sticky, and then liquidy. Honestly, play it with a bored toddler; they love it. A bit embarrassed about my veg. It's taking a bit longer than I thought. Oh, come on! It's actually taking a really long time. Okay, so just a little tip. Those who've been here with us from the beginning will know my tip about drying the potatoes just for half a minute or so. Just hear that sizzle, get the last bit of water out, and then you don't get soggy mash. Now it's time for our garlic confit and olive oil. last bit of garlic out, and then just mash. Oh, so that olive oil and garlic smells divine. I hate mashing mash. Don't ever be tempted to do this with an electric musher or anything, because your mash will be ruined to the point you'll have to throw it away because it goes like glue. It does something to the starch. Have a feel. Oh, definitely needs salt.
Say so, mashed potatoes always need salt. Like your shirt.
Thank you. And I'm just wondering, what do you think about a bit of mint sauce in with the mash? Mint, garlic, olive oil, what do you think? Not too much, don't want to overwhelm it. Okay, so now we're going to get our veg out. Whatever state they're in, they're coming out because we're ready for them. Yay. And at the same time, I'm going to put the grill on, because as I said earlier, this doesn't now cook in the oven. All we do is grill the top. I really want to eat this now. Okay, so our veg goes in. And the reason I'm doing it like this, and you must think, God, we're fapping about a bit. God, look at that. I might have to eat that. Cook's pleasures. Cook's delights. And take the sticky bits. You know what people didn't see, they won't miss. So the reason I'm doing the veg like this is we're not going to put mash all over the dish. We're going to see the veg. Oh my God, I can't tell you how delicious those courgettes are. Looks nice?
Gorgeous.
Brush, and you might think, well, that's a bit of faff. It's because I don't want to pour loads.
Why do you keep saying faff? That's not faffy at all.
No, because I know the way busy cooks think. So the reason I'm doing it like this is I don't want to just pour loads of olive oil on. So now I'm going to pop that under the grill until it's nicely browned.
Would you put cheese on the top?
No.
Is that
Absolutely.
crude?
Crude. I mean, you could put a little parmesan or something, but I think it's over egging it. Right.
Can we make a rarebit, a Welsh rarebit one time?
Yeah. Sing a shepherd's song.
When I take my sheep to the mountains.
Okay, thanks, that was great. Oh, look at that bubbling under the grill mark. Look at that. How gorgeous. Oh, my heart aches that I can't give this to my dad. It aches. Mark, how much would my dad love that? I might have to ring Dina and say, can you let him off veganism just for today?
Wow.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's lovely.
Should we get some out, guys? I know you like to see it. Oh, it smells heavenly. Okay, so each person gets their own blob of mash.
Oh, the sweet smells of spices as that came out.
Yeah.
Quite something.
Quite something.
You like my description of the smell there? Was
I
it a
did.
bit more
I
poetic?
thought, oh my God, he's really trying now.
There you go.
Very trying.
Very funny. Oh. It's very dark and sort of gloopy, isn't it?
Oh my God. Oh, look at that. Really rich, spicy lamb. Lots of onion and garlic. Olive oil and garlic, mint mash. Roasted vegetables with cumin. Come on, this is going to be a party in my mouth. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to sneak some of this to my dad. He can't be vegan today. Who is can't? Oh, God, no. Go in now. Teen shit now, isn't it?
Huh?
Teen shit? Funny shit?
Funny shit.
Funny shit.
Funny shit, funny shit, funny shit.
Yeah.
It's funny shit. It's funny shit. And there's a whiff of peanut butter. Because somewhere in the ether is the Miss NADIA Sawalha. Can you hear her? She's eating peanut butter. Do you like peanut butter?
Sometimes. I either really like it or really don't.
You like it in Reese's Pieces?
Yeah, I do like it.
Because it's gooey. Whereas normally it's dry and claggy.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like you're a dog.
Yeah. You ready?
Let's do it, baby. Funny shit.
2021 will be better than 2020.
For
Me
sure.
1 week in.
What a shit week! What a shit week!
I know, 7 days in. And we've almost seen our leading democracy overturned.
Yep. It's quite funny. Whenever I'm outside, my new neighbour lets me unsupervised. The dog's watching me from the window. I'm watching. He like follows to each window.
Oh my god. Oh my
It's so cute.
god, that reminds you of The Secret Life of Pets, and it makes me feel like,
Yeah.
oh Toffee, what do you do when we leave?
How the animal skeleton looks like. How scientists would recreate the animal. Yeah,
Yes,
so
infinitely
true
more
that
filmic.
They just follow the
Yeah,
skeleton.
yeah,
It's like
exactly.
they're
The
still
animal.
stuck.
That's so funny.
Uh,
It's because you've got Oh, what's this?
2020 showing 2021 around the workplace.
That's really funny. Two fucking senior clowns at
Yeah.
work saying, yeah, if you go over the right there, you'll be able to
Yep.
terrify everyone.
Do you remember this fool? Like your parents would always pretend like they didn't
That's
hear you.
right, yeah,
And
yeah.
you'd just be slamming on.
God, those are super spreader places. You used to come out covered in
Yeah.
other kids' saliva.
Sweat and saliva,
yeah, it's
yeah.
weird.
This really made me laugh.
We can't serve cyclists in the factory. As lovely and as lyrical as that tune is, unfortunately I can't save you, sorry.
Well, at least he acknowledged it.
It's just the way he's singing as well. You find it
just
so
stick- yeah.
British.
Especially the way he does it again.
He just goes on.
I
We
can't say it.
can't serve cyclists in the factory.
Very funny.
All these years on Earth, and I've never found a feeling that matches this one.
Oh my god, that's so true. Oh my
There's
god, hang on a
such a
minute, let me
good-
just pause there. And it has to be a Clark's one.
Yeah, I
That
know.
funny, tingly little
Yeah,
feeling.
that goes across the bottom of your foot.
And across the top.
And then it tight around your.
And then tighten, and then you feel secure.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Uh,
That's really made me feel a bit strange about everything.
I know.
Maybe my life has been spent trying to recapture that Clark's
Maybe.
foot measurer feeling.
Maybe. This is a guy on a train, right? He's pretending to be blind.
Right.
Wait, but then he he goes to pretend to fall on them, and then people try and help him, and then he just dances. And
Right.
it's just like,
Oh. God, he's very good. Oh my.
Rail services.
Oh. Oh my god. That's so
Is
clever.
this one that comes takes off his glasses and looks?
Oh my god, you'd be slightly panicked though with your mask on. wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
no,
It's
but
like,
it's
oh my
just
god, but that's
funny.
very talented.
Yeah.
Put my glasses on.
Jesus. This really made me laugh.
With the whole of the UK facing another period of strict lockdown, we appear to be back where we started. We'll have to stay at home, schools are closed, and even if you do venture out, there's not much you can do to cheer yourself up.
It's a fair description of my average Friday night now.
The whole of the UK right now. Shit in
God almighty.
it. Shit in it.
There's
shit in it.
If I had a hemorrhoid, I would expect it to look like that. Holding a beer.
Me makes a valid point in an argument with my mum.
No, hang on. Just realised. What? I don't want to talk to you anymore. No, hang on.
My mum does.
Yes.
Just realised. What? I don't want to talk to you anymore.
And also, what's startling about that clip is just how short Richard Hammond is.
I know.
You know, he has romantic involvements with cars.
Yes,
since
I
his,
do.
Yeah, since his head concussion.
My friend, I won't fall for him again. I promise. Also, my friend.
Oh, he's a little bit humiliated.
I know,
Oh, let's
so
see him again.
sweet.
Legs are so stiff when
I
they went.
know, they stay in the
They
same
stay in the
place.
same. Look, they head outwards. That gets sadly better every time you watch it.
So sweet. Do buy locals to all the Instagram influencers when Boris announces Tier 5. Isn't that how so many
Yeah.
the cities are? Oh god.
Nothing like a good football chant to put you in your place.
What about university students, Boris?
How many fucking times do I have to tell you? I don't care. How many fucking times do I have to tell you? I don't care.
Sadly true, guys.
It's very sadly true. This is really funny. The fox like listens to what this guy says.
Yeah.
Hey, big man. We're in lockdown still. Go home, man.
Boris, schools closed, colleges closed, universities.
Well. Next question. See ya.
And then she just walks
Oh right,
off.
she completely goes. That's
Well. Next question. See ya.
that's it. See ya. Imagine if Chris Whitty just left his podium like that.
Oh god.
How long are we going to be in lockdown? See ya.
The UK every time Boris has an announcement.
Oh yeah, matter of fact,
Oh goodness.
as it is. Very
This is
funny.
really funny. This guy's trying to show off his Louboutins, you know, the shoes.
Oh, yeah.
And he like
Say cheesy chips.
Oh dear. Oh dear, dear, dear.
Say cheesy chips.
I bet he hates that.
when you push the vacuum cleaner over a spot of dirt and you hear that crackle. Oh god. Mum, please refrain from drinking at your little cousin's 4th birthday party.
He looks quite buff there.
Nah.
Bah.
Sorry.
Bah.
Honey, my hand is stuck.
Where is it?
My hand here. I can't. It's stuck.
How'd you get your hand stuck in there?
Don't pull. It hurts. It hurts.
Put soap.
Oh yeah, they said if you put soap.
Put around the glass.
Doesn't realise that you took it.
Okay, now pull it. Pull it out.
I can't. I still can't. Maybe if you put.
Hold on. Oh my gosh.
Really?
What?
I just took out my hand.
That's a great prank.
Oh god.
Oh bless him, he was so focused on the
I
concern.
know.
No, I told you don't play with me, nigga. And she be acting funny, probably think a nigga need. I thought I was special, she say I'm a cheat. They thought I was taking, I'm ready to mingle. The fuck is you saying, little nigga? I do my little dancey dance.
So
No, I
excited
told you
about
don't play with me, nigga. And she be acting
Oh my
funny,
god,
probably
it's literally
think a
dinner
nigga
time.
need.
He's like us in a McDonald's
I'm ready
drive-through.
to mingle. The fuck is you saying, little nigga? I do my little dancey dance.
It's so cute.
I love seeing a cow express itself because they all look so the same, don't they?
So all the people disappointed I didn't message them Happy New Year. This is not a Happy New Year.
It kind of expresses the feeling of mention.
Oh God. Me 2 days into 2021.
Predicted, this is shit. Predicted, this is shit.
It is very much.
Wait.
Any more cow ones?
I don't think so, but this is very funny. Wait, so this is a weird trend on TikTok where people, I think you saw me and Kiki doing it the other day, where we're jumping and we just land on one leg, but it looks like it's just your head and your legs if you do it well.
Okay, if you do the
But
angle.
this girl's
right.
trying to do it, and then look at the dog. This has got 10.9 million views.
Wow.
Just go on with it.
He's so cute. He so can't get his legs back. Yeah. Judges.
And the way he jumps up.
We've all been in that position where we can't get off our back.
It's so funny.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
So weird.
Do you ever look at someone and
Why
wonder
does he
God.
what
turn
is
like
going
that?
on inside
Somebody
their
can't
head?
do that. She has a catitude problem.
Attitude problem. That's funny.
Oh my goodness.
Flipping out. What's that gerbil doing? Weird.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's so tiny.
Oh, they
How can something be so small?
look like animated go-go's.
I know, they're so cute.
Oh,
And then
baby.
This dog's making another appearance.
Let's find out. Hey, Pudgy, can I get an hour for the gravy train? I think it's just bugging because he knows he's about to get his diapers put on, so let me put his diaper on and then I'll re-ask him. Yo, diaper boy, can I get an hour for the gravy train? Let's find out. Hey, Pudgy, can I get an hour for the gravy
At
train?
the end.
I think he's just bugging because he knows he's about to get his diapers put on, so let me put his diaper on and then I'll re-ask him. Yo, diaper boy, can I get an hour for the gravy train?
I think I'm going to end up a bit like that dog in my old age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put a mic in my mouth. I'll make any old noise.
Oh, this is a really funny challenge at the moment.
Okay, so you guys supposed to sit on the floor without bending your knees or using your hands. Without bending your knees
not
and
possible.
without using your hands.
It's not achievable.
No, I can't. There's a way to do it, but I'm not gonna tell you how to do
There is
it.
a way to do it. but-
So you gotta sit on the floor without bending your knees or using your hands.
To jump and land.
No using your hands.
That's not active.
Come on. Come on.
He's really sweet.
No bending. No bending your knee. Wait.
That's really fun. Now I want to know how you do it.
I know.
That's
I
frustrating.
know.
Maybe there's just no way.
Or maybe there
And that's
is
the
no
joke.
way.
We should get Mum to do that. I'm going to get Mum to do that for the vlog.
This is really funny. You stare at your dog to make them uncomfortable and get their reaction.
It doesn't... No, he doesn't know. Oh, he's looking out for help. No. Oh. exactly what Chi-Chi does when you just look at her.
Yeah. And this is just really cute. This is a guy who's been given a puppy.
No fucking way. No way. Happy birthday. No. Oh my God.
Oh.
Where's he been? It's not real. This isn't real.
Happy birthday.
This isn't real.
Oh, look at his face.
It's so sweet. It's like a grown.
This is real. I'm in shock.
He's so sweet.
He loves me.
Oh,
He loves me.
oh.
So sweet.
He's
I
got a
just found it
Deadpool
so
t-shirt on
cute.
as well.
Yeah, but that's all that.
Very, 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 very funny shit. Chi-Chi reading the newspapers.
Yeah, she loves.
Yeah.
As soon as we finish, we put them on the floor because she literally hangs around our legs, waiting for them.
She's a news hound.
Yeah.
News hound.
Oh, I love you.
Did you
Did
see
that.
what I did there?
News hound.
So we're going into the headlines now.
That's it. I've got nothing else to say. Bong, bong,
Bell end.
bong.
You're doing a bong like a bell end.
That's weird. And I'm
How
not diving.
strange. Muff.
I'm going to start with a bit of lovely news, actually, that I've known for a very long time,
Ooh.
which is that the lovely Christine is pregnant again.
I've been meaning to break the news to you, actually.
And I've been keeping it a secret.
Yeah, so agree.
And it's just so lovely. Actually, we'd gone for lunch, Jane, Christine and I, ages ago.
She didn't have a
It was in
drink.
the summer. Yeah, and she said,
Hey.
I'm not having a glass of rosé. And I went, no, yes. So I'm really chuffed that it's out because I love having a secret. I'm really good at keeping secrets, actually. I love a good gossip, but I love keeping a secret.
Couple of COVID stories, I'm afraid. Doctors raise alarm, and I think this is just a salutary reminder of the fact
Quite
that
a lot of news that isn't COVID.
Oh, good.
Fun little bits.
Doctors raise alarm as COVID strikes down NHS workforce on the front of the Observer, and it's just a reminder. I mean, it says here that the service is in crisis with 46,000 ill. It's a reminder that with all the will in the world, best will in the world, you know, vaccine rollouts, dealing with numbers, we all slavishly watch the news every day and we go, oh, well, it's 100 less and no, not that dismissively, but we're looking for signs of kind of a reversal of the kind of trend. And yet sort of behind all of that, there's a sort of much bigger crisis at work, which is that essentially there aren't enough people to deal with the crisis as it is. And there could be fewer people to deal with the crisis, even if the crisis gets less. The crisis for the people working in the NHS can still get worse.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to remember that. Even though we may all at some point go, oh, the numbers are coming down, it doesn't translate in that way
not for
to
them.
people on the front line in hospitals and what have you. So, you know, not surprisingly, a vast number, 46,000 members of the NHS are not working because they're self-isolating, because they've got the virus, because they know they're shielding someone else. All of which is catastrophic. The other interesting thing is that who's your Neil Ferguson? I don't know how much we should put any stock in what Neil Ferguson says anymore, should we? He's of the opinion, however, that yes, it's getting worse. Yes, all sectors are being hit by infection, but at some point we will gain mass herd immunity, especially if the vaccine rollout rolls out. So many people are now getting it.
Towards it. 1 in 15 people in London
Now,
having it.
I don't want to suggest, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but do you think that's always been the plan? Do you think that's why they're not doubling down harder? Do you think that's why they did let Christmas happen?
I don't
Do you
know.
think?
No, I
all
don't.
these
No,
things?
I don't. I really don't. Oh, this is a bit of. Oh, we watched such a good film last night about home birth, which
Pieces
we're
of
going
a
to do a
Woman.
review of.
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my god,
Vanessa Kirby.
I was really sad to see this today. Hospitals cancel home births. I think this is mostly in the southeast coast. Yeah, ambulance service are saying that they wouldn't be able to guarantee that they could get there if anything went wrong. So I feel my heart breaks for all these women that think that they had found a solution to the fact that their partners can't be in the birthing room with them. And now,
Yeah, I thought
and
there'd be a
now they've
resurgence
published-
of home birth, actually.
Well, there has been, but they're cancelling it in certain areas
crikey.
because they can't guarantee the emergency
Well-
ambulance. But I just, personally, I think it's an absolute disgrace that fathers can't be in on the birth of their child. Never, I mean, of course, horrific for the woman giving birth, but also, again, it just diminishes the part that a father plays. And I just think, surely there must be a way of people having a COVID test or something, or just keeping them to that room.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's got to be a way around it. I think it's really cruel.
Obviously, the Queen and Prince Philip had their vaccine jab. Good to see. But I love the
really good.
I love the Sun's fantastic headline: "A shot in the marm."
Well, I've got a
Did you
shot
like
in
that?
the marm. That's
A
really
shot
good.
in the marm.
I had a picture of them, both of them today, so I'll talk about it now. I cannot tell you. If you want to know what my grandfather looked like, why would
Yeah.
you? But just if you did, that is
Wow.
it. Exactly the same blazer, the same time, like my granddad was in the RAF. And my mum is the image of the Queen
That's very
when she was
true.
young.
Sidebar on the whole coronavirus thing. There's a piece in the Observer about cancelled ticketed events of all varieties. Sport, obviously, is always shunted to the forward. We value sport more than we value almost any other cultural, mass activity. And so there's discussions here about various sporting events that maybe, will have no spectators, such as Wimbledon. There's music festivals. Basically, no music festival organiser is proceeding with organising until they get an assurance from the government that they'll cover their insurance for it. So, to be honest with you, Maddie said, how's Glastonbury ever going to work?
Well, they don't
How can it work? How can it work in the same way? And obviously, the other ticketed event that we're all thinking about is holidays. With a lot of people not knowing what to do this year, and a lot of people saying, "I just need something to look forward to. I need something to look forward to." I mean, and we've talked about that a hell of a lot. We all want something to look forward to. We all, we went to Cornwall earlier in the year.
Kiki's just desperate. Every single day, Kiki comes and shows me photos and little videos on TikTok and all these. She is absolutely desperate. She's like me with the sea, isn't she?
Yeah, so the jury's out on what will come through, what will be free. But I literally, when I think about festivals and how important they are to Maddie, and I then think of, I sort of think, we can only get to that point when we feel we have herd immunity. And when will herd immunity feel convincing if there's always variance?
Let's move on a bit.
That's a bit I don't understand.
This made me really happy today. Spear-waving Trump fanatic is facing 10 years in prison.
Yeah, it's good.
What an arsehole. As more and more is revealed every day, actually. I mean, we were looking at some footage yesterday of actually inside
it's pretty
Capitol
diamond.
Hill.
I didn't realise
Because
that
whilst
went
we
on.
were watching it on the news, we were like, just looks like a couple of hundred people.
Milling about.
Why can't they get hold of it? But of course, inside,
It's mental.
it was Armageddon, and that poor police officer that was battered to death with a fire extinguisher. I mean, they've got to throw the book out. The thought that possibly Trump could get away with this because of this weird way that they have in the American justice, well, it's not the justice system, I suppose it's what would it be?
I don't know what you're talking about. What
Well,
are you
the
going to
fact
say?
that he could pardon himself, what would that be?
Oh yeah, but that's never been done before. So I think the jury's out as to whether he
He
can.
didn't do
I don't know
that.
whether he can. I mean, as someone said the other day,
So
if
that's
he
a
does,
possibility.
it will be a new low benchmark of his presidency.
I don't think they could let it sink that low, could they?
A curious headline that snagged me right at the end. Can you be obese and healthy?
No.
Good. I mean, I'm pleased you said that because there's a sort of opinion piece in the Observer talking about obese and healthy. No, the pandemic has proved once and for all that's a big fat lie. I think there are two different things here.
You could have, I suppose there are some people living with obesity that would have a healthier life than others, and that they would that doesn't necessarily mean they're sitting around not exercising and eating. So I think that's maybe what they're talking about.
But there's a difference between obesity, presumably, I mean, obese and healthy. I suppose it presents a real dilemma, doesn't it? Because we want to be body accepting. We want to accept all shapes and all sizes. You don't want to fat shame. You don't want to body shame and all that kind of stuff. And yet at the same time, I suppose you want to provide the message and the impetus behind the message that being overweight can never be healthy. And how do you do that without shaming someone?
The problem really is it just puts such enormous pressure on the endocrine system and everything, so that that's why we've got such a problem with COVID. I mean, Dina's friend who works in an ICU said it is overwhelmingly filled with obese people, and I think it's just enormous pressure on the body.
So is it misguided of magazines to do things like that? This is healthy.
I think. I haven't read the magazine. I think what we've got is. I get what they're doing, and the thing is, we want to accept all bodies, and it has to be up to the person how they want to live. And I think to judge someone for being fat, or somebody that's living with obesity and maybe way beyond actually their control, because there are reasons that people can be obese. I think it's the shaming that's got to stop. Yeah. But obviously, it's always better to have balance, isn't it? I just thought this would be a bit of fun. Scientists prove high heels really are sexy. So they got 52 female university students, and they got them to walk in this video, one without, in exactly the same clothes, one with flats, one with heels. And then they edited it so that you couldn't see what they were wearing on their feet.
Oh,
so
right.
it's all to do with the way they walked.
Yeah.
And overwhelmingly, they then got people to test that, to look at that, both men and women, and it was overwhelmingly on the side of high heels.
Oh, there you go. Well, that kind of feeds into my story. I have a high heels story. What's the likelihood of that? High heels laid low by lockdown run on trainers. Lots of puns in that title.
God.
Towering stilettos have fallen from favour among Britons with no reason to dress up. Now comfort is the sole, do you get it, concern. So yes, if the adage is true that the higher the heel, the better you feel, you might imagine sales of stilettos would be soaring as women seek to give themselves a lift in dark times. But no, they're ditching heels. Heels are going out, and flats are in. So we're going to have to just tolerate unsexy walking.
Right, now this is a nice light one. How puppy love can help you attract your dream partner.
Oh.
So apparently, if you are single, the best dog to have is a terrier.
Really?
Yeah.
Angry little things, aren't they?
So owners of certain breeds just attract more romantic interest. Oh my God, we must take this very lightly, because we have got another pandemic at the moment of people dumping the puppies they bought. Have you heard?
Terrible, yeah, no, it's massive.
Absolutely
huge problem.
Awful. Apparently, women owning a Staffordshire Bull Terrier is more of a draw for a potential date than, wait for it, good looks, a warm personality, or even wealth.
I think that's absolute nonsense. I've had more dreamy-eyed, misty-eyed looks at me when I've walked around the park with Toffee than anything else in my life.
I know, it's weird.
Women get dreamy. One woman ran after me in the park.
A woman here will attract. So maybe with men, it's a good.
Yeah.
So men will set pulses racing if they've got a Jack Russell.
No, I've been chased through a park by a woman when I was walking Toffee once, because she desperately needed to talk to me. I mean, I was frightened. I
quite like the way they did it. So researchers posted profiles on dating apps featuring photographs with different dogs. And wait for this. Single women, you're going to love this, go for men with cockapoos.
That's gorgeous.
No, Labradors as well as Jack Russells.
There have been occasions where there has been at least, it's been difficult sometimes walking Toffee. Difficult.
Apparently, so if you're posting a photo, this is really important for people listening. If you're posting a
photo,
my
Instagram later. There's going to be a photo of me with Toffee.
I'm going to say we're seeing a lot of the dog on your gram at the moment, but it's so sweet. I was looking at your Instagram the other day. I thought, this is so sweet, because the girls have banned us from posting any photos of them. Mark's now got the dogs. Which is actually
they're more sensible than the government.
The kids will fuck off. We'll be left with just the dog. But hang on, so adding a photo of a dog can be great if you want to be successful at dating. So it provides an instant icebreaker. That's how Davina McCall met her husband. I always remember reading that story. It also shows that you are active and kind. If the dog loves them, then other people will do too. I think we should do that in Coffee Moments.
Well, I think you should certainly do it on Loose Women. Have you ever wondered why I go to the park so much with just Toffee? This is a puntastic one. I don't necessarily want to go into the story. Harry and Meghan stopped posting on social media. Not Brexit, Meg's quit. Bit of a stretch, that one.
I bet we'll be doing that on Loose Women's.
Meg's quit. Can I just quickly flag up, issue in the Observer, the issue of free speech, going back to Donald Trump, takes centre stage after Twitter's move. Now, When I first heard of Twitter's decision to ban President Trump, like most people, I was like, "Hey!" And then it was only after the event
we're both rethinking
that I've started to think to myself, is this the thin end of the wedge?
Yeah.
You know, we're very anti this kind of what we call cancel culture, where if you express an opinion that is different. Now, we haven't got the tweets in front of us to be able to, you know, assess whether or not it was a direct incitement to violence. But I think there was there was an interesting debate on LBC yesterday with Majid.
Really made us think.
I forget his surname, but you know, he's quite a sensible guy, and he wasn't defending Trump, and he was not a Trump supporter.
God, no.
But he was asking the question that, do we need to be a bit careful here about us posting anything about anything? So, for example, if I was to say, I hate all Liberal Democrats, and then someone sort of, I don't know, 2 weeks down the way said that made me go and attack Liberal Democrats.
Yeah.
Should I not be allowed to say that I hate Liberal Democrats for fear that it inspires someone else to do something?
For those of you that have watched The Social Dilemma, it really did make us think. It's why it's so good to listen to all different stations, and because just because we hate Trump, we were like, brilliant. But actually think about that.
And also,
these people are making decisions on what all the rest of us must think. And who are they? They're a small handful of men.
I mean, they're corporate. It's a corporate beast. It's not some sort of moral decider of what's right and wrong. And also, you know, in that there's another danger that however reprehensible you feel Trump is, what he says is, and what his supporters do is, I think that if you quash the ability to speak, you potentially run the risk actually of justifying it, martyring it, and driving it underground and making those feelings even stronger.
And I think what stuck in our throat though was Trump saying they're shutting down free speech when he shut down free speech himself. So
it's not a defense of him.
But we have to separate our dislike
in
of
a
the man.
race to avoid Trump winning another election. We can't
allow these things to go on. If you like this, it's a bit fantastic. Holy macaroni, not brilliant, but okay. Waitrose to sell frozen pasta.
That seems sacrilegious,
right? Frozen. Well, hang on that. That takes 30 seconds to cook. So they will, I don't know what they're charging for this, but it's going to cost you a whole lot more than just buying a big, massive bag of pasta and cooking it. So what I would say is just do this yourself. Do a big vat, cook it till it's al dente, run it under cold water quickly so it doesn't carry on cooking, so that when you heat it up, it doesn't overcook. But just on this, why it's so good to freeze your pasta and your potatoes and your rice is the starch, the carbohydrates are reduced by 30%. This is facts. They've done this in laboratories. So if you're looking to reduce your carbs a bit, but you love your pasta, rice and potato, freeze it. But don't pay somebody else to freeze it for you first. Okay. It's gonna be very expensive.
I'm not one for pulling stories about Kate Humble because I'm not a particularly big fan. She's very perky. She's very sort of everywhere, and she loves animals. But I was once again struck when I read almost one of the first 2 or 3 sentences when she talks about the fact that she knew she didn't want children. And the reason I pulled this was it still always makes me stop when I read or hear about a woman who actively says she's decided not to have children. And I felt I had to challenge that in myself again. Because whatever I think of Kate Humble, it's very hard to socially not make a judgment. And I don't know what the judgment is. I don't think she's a bad person.
It's a really good discussion, and it's something we should do in Confessions of a Modern Parent. Because I actually feel quite strongly about this, that we always say to girls, when they say, I don't want children, oh, you will?
Yeah.
Now, that has lots of, there's lots of pitfalls to that. Because what if your daughter grows up and can't have children?
Yes.
Or really doesn't want children?
Or doesn't meet the right person?
And somehow you've planted the seed that is selfish. Because actually, it's more selfish of us, because we would love nothing more than would we than to be grandparents.
Well, no. And because I have a very strong paternal instinct, as strong as a maternal instinct, so I want kids, I love my children, I love having children, all that kind of stuff. I do sort of sometimes ask myself, well, what is the point of living if you don't have children? And that's a terrible thing to say, isn't it?
But it's because we've been conditioned.
Yeah.
And we have to think of all the poor people that can't have children.
So I think a story like that's really important for people who don't. Yeah. I've got another quick one. It's more puntastic, but it's quite tragic at the back of it. Alison Moffat, Scarlett Moffat, sorry, her mum.
I like her.
Gambling addictions, took 50 grand off her. Scarlett Moffat, and she's had to help her through a massive gambling addiction. and
no,
it just
and she's had cancer, her mum.
and it's
really
a very
bad.
sad head. I mean, it's a punt out bit me out of here. But it's actually behind it, you know, I just thought, you know, okay, so it's a sort of tabloid story.
Because we love their family,
Yeah,
their
yeah,
whole
we do.
family on Gogglebox. In fact, both Mark and I,
Yeah.
with our producers' heads on,
Yes.
spotted
Often
Scarlett
said she'd
Muffet
be
from the
very good.
first week she was in Gogglebox.
Yes.
We went, she's got potential. That really makes me sad because, you know, she had, I think the mum, or was it the dad, had cancer?
But they've kind of, you know, they've reunited,
made up.
and Scarlett is helping or has helped her mum through some form of rehab. So again, you know, gambling is like any other addiction. Really
I love
difficult.
Scarlett Muffet.
Yeah.
She was the one. We were interviewing her once on Loose Women, and she'd had terrible trouble with trolls.
Oh yeah.
And she was the one that said she kept answering them. And then one day she realised they were iller than anyone else. So all she does is put the Samaritan's number for
very good.
anyone trolls them. She
Very
said
good.
it stopped it. Look, I thought you'd like this, Mark.
Yes.
Because it's a little story about your greatest fantasy when you were a child, Madonna.
Right.
And it's got a couple of actresses, one in particular who we absolutely adore.
Oh, that's
So this
curious
is
too.
between Florence Pugh and Julia Garner
Oh,
from
I haven't heard
Ozark,
about this.
who we loved,
Yeah.
who are in the running and at war, because of course that's what papers
This
love
isn't the
to
Madonna
say.
film that Madonna's making, is it?
It must be.
Mm.
Yeah, it is. But they always love to give this skew that these women are going
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be fighting
fighting
against
for
each
it.
other. But anyway, it could be one of them. Which one would it be for you?
If I had to make the casting decision based on looks, it would have to be Julia.
Oh, well,
Garner.
I mean Julia Garner.
Julia,
I
and look,
just
and also
adore her.
temperament. I think she can.
Yeah.
I think she could do.
Oh,
I
my
think
God.
Florence Pugh is a bit of a
She's
left
too
field
English.
one, really. I don't really. Yeah. Well, talking of casting decisions, Whoopi Goldberg has been talking to Tom Baker, who's her friend, and says she really wants to be the first US Time Lord. I think she'd be a fabulous Doctor Who. Whoopi Goldberg.
God, sorry,
I just said
wasn't
Whoopi
listening.
Goldberg.
I thought you meant this one.
Danny, no, I just said.
No, sorry, I was still thinking
been
about Julia
talking.
Garner.
Whoopi Goldberg's been talking to her friend. Yeah, no, Danny
Sorry.
wants to be Doctor Who. No, I think Whoopi Goldberg would be good. I think Whoopi Goldberg would be brilliant. She
would be brilliant.
She would be like Tom
Oh my
Baker.
God, I love her so much. Whenever she comes on Loose Women.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's just so one of us.
Oh, she's so
and
one of
she's
us.
desperate to swap.
Yeah.
With what she does in America in Loose Women.
And final story, just
Yeah.
a sort of RIP. Michael Apted, the film director, has passed away sadly. He made quite a few
Yeah,
films,
that's
but
what it
he was really involved with quite a defining series called 7
Loved
Up,
it.
which was the series that picked up the lives of various children and every 7 years through their life. Fascinating. He directed the rest of the series, started in 1964, and he directed the series from 1970 onwards. And I remember that really sort of timing with me as a child.
That was, I
wasn't it?
think
Yeah.
that's where I started to love documentaries.
Yeah,
maybe.
absolutely. And he, in a sense, manifests and
important.
typifies the most important aspect of all documentary filmmaking, which is you make the best documentaries if you have the luxury of time. Time. In any set of circumstances, you need a bit of time.
And that's why we
yeah.
ended up with reality TV, because you just squish a load of people into
Exactly.
one small area.
You're trying
and
to
make them
concentrate.
fight.
It's a little bit
Yeah.
like nuclear fission.
Well,
You're
actually,
trying to
yeah.
concentrate reality, which is why it's called reality TV,
Yeah.
into creating drama. And what you actually, in real life, you
Yeah.
know, it has to take a
Real
long time.
reality, where you're really looking at real people, is oh my God, it's delicious.
What are we going to next? I think it might be a cookbook or something.
52 and we can't
I think it's a
do
cookbook.
52.
No, I think you're doing a cookbook first and then you're going into the next dish.
Yeah. So guys, we thought we would add a little extra moment to the Sunday show where I review a cookery book, show you some of my favourite cookery books. And this week I am showing you The Midlife Kitchen. I've had this for ages actually. And it's really, really good. It's a really dense book. Some cookery books, oh my God, honestly, they're such a blooming con. But this has got everything. And why it's right up my strata is it's really delicious food, but always thinking of the health, but not compromising on the taste. I love this quote here. Someone wise once said that at the age of 20, we have the health and appearance we inherited. At 50 and beyond, we have the face and body we created. So think about what you eat, guys. So if you are young and wanting to stay young, fit and beautiful, this is the book for you. If you're menopause, post-menopause, and you really are feeling that you want to go more the natural way, this tells you about all the right foods to help balance your hormones and give you sustained energy and all that sort of stuff. really good breakdown of the things that you will need, really good store cupboard ingredients, and fantastic photographs, which is so important, Mark, aren't they, in a cookery book? Oh my God, I can't buy a cookery book without photographs in it. The other really good thing about this book is it's got really easy, snacky things, because let's face it, most of us haven't got the time. And I know there's a number of you that are always asking me for healthy lunchtime, lockdown sort of things. So look at all these lovely, really easy things that you can put on toast. I don't know about anyone else. One of my favourite things in the whole world, for both supper or for lunch, is something on toast. Look at that. Nutty goat. I wouldn't have goat's cheese. I'd have some other cheese because I hate goat cheese. And avocado. So healthy, but so delicious. So I folded over some of the pages that I think are the sort of things you might like, because some of you like to cook and some of you like very little faff. So look at something like this. 5-minute chocolate mousse. And it's dark chocolate, a little caster sugar, not much, and yogurt with fresh raspberries. Stunning, made in 5 minutes. Lovely midlife sticky toffee puddings. And you see how I like the way they have this little, what would you call that, Mark? Diagram of telling you, where it shows you what it's good for. So look, skin, senses and immunity, energy boosting, digestive health. And then you always get a little tip here, some sort of little health tip. But then you get something absolutely delicious. So these are, I've made these, they're divine. They're sticky, they're sweet, but they haven't got all the horrors of a full-on sticky toffee pudding. Seedy soda bread. So easy to make. Soda bread's really good for the gut. We're all trying to look after our gut, especially at the moment with our immunity. We need like great immunity with what's going on out there in the world. I'm not mentioning it. Look at this. I knew loads of you would love this. And actually, maybe I should make this one Sunday. Lovely slow roasted lamb with sticky figs. And you see here, figs contain prebiotics, a type of fibre that passes through the gut, undigested, stimulates the growth of good bacteria, improving digestive health. That's really, really good to know. I didn't know that. See? Lots of really unusual dressings, because lots of people hate salad, because let's face it, a salad is all about the dressing. This is gorgeous. Raw pad thai. Doesn't that just look bursting with health and taste? Would you like that, Mark?
No.
But you can make a big batch of that. Again, thinking of lockdown lunches and people being stuck in, you can make that. That's really healthy. Lots of nuts and peanut butter and all that fresh, zesty lime and veg. Stunning. So it's got everything in here. Soups, salads, look at that roasted garlic. Soups, salads, big hearty meals, puddings. They use really nice different ingredients, all things that I love actually from around the world. Things like dukkha and lovely coconut paste and curry paste and sesame and all sorts of delicious things that you'll have heard me rave about. Classic tuna fagioli. We're all used to a tuna salad, but why not try it a little bit different with a few beans? Spread it out, good for the health, cheap. So that's my book of the week, The Midlife Kitchen.
And who are they?
Well, I don't actually know who they are. She was some PR woman and she was some other woman, but honestly, it's a proper book. It's a proper. They're not just. It's not just a fly by night. So once a month, I'm going to cook something from whatever my book of the week is. And so today I'm doing these because we've had that lovely, quite indulgent shepherd's pie. And these are still, I just wanted to show you how you can have something really indulgent that is actually good for you as well. But I'm going to let you into secret. I never made these before.
Oh, God.
So, no, but that's a big part of what we're going to be doing with this book a month, is actually seeing if recipes work. And also showing you how sometimes where you can change up ingredients if you want, how you don't have to stick religiously to stuff.
So it could go wrong.
I doubt it. Okay, so I'm just going to, if you want to get a pen and paper, I'm going to read out the ingredients to you so you can write them down. And as I say, this is the very first time I've made these. Yogurt, almond. Now this is orange drizzle cake, but I'm going to make lemon because my lot love lemon drizzle cake. So first of all, we've got 150 grams of ground almonds, and 150 grams of self-raising flour. Now, you see, we've still got the flour. You could actually use all, if you wanted gluten-free, you could use just almond. So that would be 300 grams of almond, but it'd be a much denser heavier cake. Delicious, but totally gluten-free. Almonds are just so good for you. They really are a superfood. They've got great fats and they've also got protein in them. So it immediately makes it a more nutrient-dense cake. So they put a lot less sugar than you would have in a normal cake. Now this is supposed to be light brown sugar, but I didn't have any. So I've done half dark brown and half caster because I don't want them to look too brown. So that's just 75 grams of sugar. You think how often when I'm making cakes here and I'm 200 grams, 250 grams of sugar, but this will still be sweet and lovely. So I've got 150 grams of yogurt. Now by using the yogurt, we're using a little less fat, but it will still be really moist with the yogurt. We're using 100 mils of sunflower oil. Now, they say in the book, and I would have preferred it as well, to use olive oil, but I haven't got much olive oil and I don't want to use it in the cake. But you can use sunflower oil, it doesn't matter. 3 eggs, of course, eggs are really good for you, loads of different nutrients, and of course they're another protein. I'm going to use some almond essence and some vanilla essence. They haven't got in the recipe almond essence, but I think it would be nice. It will just add another kick of almond. You don't have to. And I'm going to use some poppy seeds because I just love, you like poppy seeds, don't you, Mark? That little crunch that you get in a cake. And I think they've really got, there's a fragrance to a poppy seed. I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit of pistachio nut on the top because I just like that little Arabic-y flavour. And I think it will look nice, the green pistachios. And then we're going to make a little syrup with just some honey and lemon. So if you think about a lemon drizzle cake, usually you have about 150, 200 grams of sugar with a couple of lemons that then goes on top of a cake that's already got 250 grams of sugar, which is lovely. We love a drizzle cake, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stop having drizzle cake. But this is just an alternative if you want a lighter way. Okay, shall we make cakes?
Yes, please.
I'm going to make this in little loaves, little individual loaves. It kind of helps a bit not to overdo it if you've each got your own little cake. But you can cook it in a normal sort of bread loaf tin. So first, 3 eggs. Oh, these are lovely eggs. These are my favourite eggs. What eggs are my favourite eggs, Mark? God, wouldn't this be amazing if you knew what my favourite eggs were?
Perfect.
Yes! You've pulled. Get your coat. Do you want to come home with me?
Jesus, I didn't realise eggs could do that.
To that, I'm going to add my sugar. It's that funny mix I've done brown and white. I'm just going to whisk that in. You could, if you wanted, just put all these ingredients in the blitzer and blitz them all at once.
Not very televisual though, is it?
But it's not, I like doing the mixing. But honestly, you can do that and just bung it in. That's what's so brilliant. So if you've got an emergency cake o'clock, I need cake, that's how you could do it. Next, I'm going to add my yogurt. There you go. Gorgeous almonds, so good for you. Try and eat almonds every day. Little tip, if you've got kids, obviously you have to know they don't have a nut allergy. If you can get almonds, the kids don't know that I put it in everything. I put it in their soup, I put it in their smoothie, I put it anyway in cakes, in bread, ground almonds, because they both say they hate nuts. But I know how important nuts are for your good health. So flour, self-raising, 2 teaspoons, flat, not heaped, baking powder. The zest of 2 lemons.
I think this is your favourite thing to do in the kitchen.
One of them.
Your other one is...
Mark! Do not put that in. I was talking to Lee today as I went for my run when he made a beef Wellington. I was just having a chat with him. He was saying one of your followers this morning on the Coffee Moaning said, oh, you should call yourself the bungee jump cook. Anyway, he was saying to me, whoever that was, he said he loves it and that's what he's going to call himself because he's never cooked before and he started with a beef Wellington. And his next big dish is going to be a raspberry souffle.
Oh my God.
Imagine that if it had been lovely green olive oil, that would have looked nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you always tell me what I haven't got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good sound.
I'm going to add some poppy seed. You don't have to. I'm just going to sprinkle in what I kind of like the look of. No, probably a teaspoon and a half. Small teaspoon, not overflowing, because we're going to have the vanilla. The almond as well. You haven't seen me use almond essence before, have you? Can't do it. Can't do it! Can't do it! You have to do it. Don't do this if you don't like marzipan. Oh, that's a point actually. The almond meal, just the ground almond, doesn't taste particularly almondy. So if you think, oh, I can't use almonds because I don't like almonds, don't like the taste, you won't taste it in the cake. The kids won't taste it in the cake. You could almost give these for breakfast, guys, for the kids. So I've got my oven on at 170 degrees. Obviously 150 if you are using a fan oven. I wonder if I should make 2 more. Or should we just make big ones? Just make big ones. Really nice.
What are we doing with that? Punch and Judy.
I'm just going to bash down the pistachios. Now, I'm hoping that these pistachios stay green. I'm not sure whether I'll regret putting them on and they'll go a bit brown, but there you go. That's us trying out a new recipe, so we will find out together. And then if they look a bit brown, what we'll do is we'll pick them off for the gram photo. What about that? And then put some fresh ones on. That's exactly what they do in TV and magazine food photography, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah.
It's so cheated. Oh, I think that really adds something, the pistachio. What do you think? Okay, in it goes. I just hate the taste of kefir. It might come through. Oh, they look really pretty. Oh, I'm really pleased with those. So in the recipe book, it says half an hour. But because I've made them a bit bigger, I'm going to go for 35 minutes and check them at 170.
Okay.
I think our cakes are nearly ready. So I'm just going to make the little drizzle bit, which is a healthier drizzle. So I'm using, I love this honey, Maya honey. It's really, really yummy. The girls love it and it's good for you. So about a tablespoon of honey. You can put more if you want. And then the juice of a lemon, half a lemon. Probably enough actually. Probably a couple of tablespoons of lemon. Don't want to make it too watery. There we go. That's our drizzle. That was easy. Just heat through a bit. And then, oh, they look lovely. Oh, the magic of baking, Hagar. Look at those. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, but I think the addition of my pistachio nuts, that's the book there. What do you think? The addition of the pistachio nuts. Remember, we haven't got the lighting. I think they look lovely. And they didn't get, I suppose because they were cooked at a fairly low heat, 170, they didn't get burnt. Just as with a normal lemon drizzle cake. I can't find a skewer. Skewer's better. Just make it, oh, that honey smells nice. Of course, you don't have to put the final honey and lemon bit. I think it's nice. These cakes have come out so beautifully. I think that's a lovely recipe. I'm just going to drizzle honey and lemon on each one. And they'll just soak into the cake. Aren't they lovely? Lovely for packed lunch boxes if anyone ever goes to school again. Lovely as a little lockdown afternoon snack that you know you're getting all those proteins and everything, but you're also just getting something delicious. And look how pretty they look. I suppose we're going to have to try one.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, these should be cooled down a bit. Mind you, not too much. Oh, look! Look. Oh, that looks great, doesn't it? It's really moist, nice crumb. Oh my God, it's so good. Oh, Nanny Di's doing the book this week. It was supposed to be me, but I didn't get my book finished, so it's Nanny Di. Thanks, Nanny Di.
Mum,
Yay!
do you think you're what this cup says?
What does it say?
Bell end.
I don't like these cups. They say, oh, and I like this one. It says Angel Faith.
Oh, that's you, Mum. Book of the week.
Book of the week. Can you see what it's called?
What's it called?
Hamnet.
Oh, play on the word Hamlet.
This is about, in the 1580s, a family, mother and father, had a girl. Then they had twins. A girl called Susanna and then twins called Judith and Hamnet. 11 years later, the boy died. 4 years after that, the father left home, well, he'd already left home, quite a big time before that, went to Stratford and wrote Hamlet. I mean, isn't that an amazing thing in itself?
That's the story of Shakespeare.
That is the story of this book, because this book is the story of Shakespeare.
Ah.
Well, in fact, what it is the story of, more than Shakespeare, is the wife, Anne Hathaway. We have always known her as Anne Hathaway. Her name was Agnes.
Right.
And she's very big on versatilitude, this Maggie O'Farrell.
Right.
At the back of the book, she provides all these photocopied documents to show us that her birth certificate, she was born Agnes. Her father called her Agnes.
So is it a work of fiction or a work of faction?
It's a work of fiction in the sense of she didn't know what they were thinking as they went through day by day.
Right.
But I think what she's tried to do, and up to a point, and it takes a lot for me to say this, she's out-mantelled Mantell.
Oh, I see. So is it that sort of thing?
It's that sort of thing where she's done her research so exhaustively that things like that, the fact that, we've always known Agnes Hathaway as Anne, I'm not quite sure why. Well, she wants to be absolutely accurate.
Right.
And in that, she's produced the most amazing book. When I started it, I'm a huge fan of Hilary Mantel, and that's who I'm referring to when I say out.
Yeah.
I mean, this is historical fiction in the style of Hilary Mantel. But it's about our greatest playwright who ever lived.
Right.
And in fact, you could be forgiven for hardly ever meeting Shakespeare. He's never mentioned by name.
Right.
He's never, he's a strange man. I started it thinking, what's missing in this book? Something's missing. She starts off like in Stratford and stories of the twins. They're about 8 or 9, and Hamlet wakes up one morning, can't find his sister, and they've got the twin thing all the time, so that everything one twin's doing, the other twin knows about, and he's searching for his mom and all of that. And that, in a way, is a distraction for what happens in the rest of the book, because he can't find his sister, he finds her, there's nothing wrong with her, but she's just gone missing temporarily. And then the whole of the rest of the book is that he gets iller and iller, and then ends up dying. The father, it seems, again, who is never mentioned by name,
But is Shakespeare,
which we only know by the fact that as the book goes on, we realise that he's coming home less and less often. Agnes...
Hanging out with actors, that's what that is.
Yeah, but also she makes it very clear that he can't bear to come home once Hamlet is dead. And Agnes is furious about that because she's having to be at home and dealing with it. And then she can't believe that all the rumours that she's hearing about her husband being in a theatre.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a sort of
standard
career choice to be in a theatre company. She can't believe that her husband, who comes from a family of glovers who made gloves, is very sort of ordinary and boring, could be in music hall, really.
Right.
But then he starts to send quite a lot of money home, and somehow something's working, and she thinks, oh, this is really weird. Somebody sends her. This is after Hamlet, the twin, has died. she's furious with her husband for not coming home. In fact, she thinks he's probably having an affair. And to try and placate her, he buys her this enormous house on the edge of Stratford, which is the Anne Hathaway cottage, which people see, except her name is Agnes.
So this is the sort of hidden backstory of a famous playwright who happens to be Shakespeare's son, who sadly passes away.
Yeah. And she does it so incredibly well that if everybody else isn't in tears at the end of this, I'll eat my hat. What happens is that Agnes doesn't believe it, but then again, he's bought her this huge house. She's thinking, what is happening? He's obviously having an affair. I'm having to get over the death of my son. He doesn't care less. And then somebody sends her a handbill, and on it is Hamlet, a play. And she thinks, what the hell is this? And somebody says, there's a play going on in London with Hamlet. Hamlet is the name of the play. And she thinks that's mad. So then she has this incredible journey down to London, which in itself is huge, because to get from Birmingham to London in those days, it was different for Shakespeare because he was doing it every day and every week.
He was catching the HS2.
Which took a hell of a lot of things to do. Gets to London, can hardly deal with London. She finds out that the play's on, she gets to the Globe. And what's wonderful for people that have ever been to the Globe is the description of the Globe, you'll know it. Yeah. And if she didn't, of course, she didn't know what the hell was going on. What were all these people doing, standing looking up at this person? She knew nothing about theatre, that's the thing. So we see it all through her eyes. And then, of course, the play starts, and it's a play about her son.
Sounds like it would make a great drama.
It is incredibly innovative, and it's incredibly once it got me, which was about a quarter of the way through, I could not put it down. I think it's absolutely brilliant book. And also, what I must say about this is, all the time going through the whole book, the other star performer in all of this stuff, remember this is 1586 or something, is the plague.
Wow.
The plague is destroying everything. It's what kills Hamlet, it's killing everybody. And she has an absolutely bravura passage in the middle of the book where she abandons the story and goes into the life of a flea who jumps into a thing in Venice, and from Venice goes to so-and-so, from there goes to thing, ends up in Stratford. They end up opening the package and the flea jumps onto it's absolutely astonishing.
Oh, how amazing.
It's scary as hell given our circumstances at the moment. Look, I've got
maybe it's the flea, Mum.
And it's stunning, and it's totally unexpected, this passage, but also it takes you into the lives of how suddenly people were scared to move.
And also this idea that Shakespeare was actually a playwright defined by the plague.
Yes.
And a pandemic, in a sense. So stick with it, is your advice.
Absolutely stick with it. And if you get to halfway, by the time you get to halfway, you will be totally in it and transformed.
Brilliant.
It's a brilliant, brilliant read, and deserves all the accolades it's got. Hamlet by Maggie O'Farrell. Those of you that know Maggie O'Farrell will know she doesn't write books like this at all, emotional books. But this is really, really, really good.
Teddy.
Teddy talks. Teddy talks. Teddy talks. Teddy talks. And because Mark's been a bit ahead with the editing today, it's really nice because Mark's there for the chat too. And I think it's kind of moving up to one of my favourites again.
It really is.
It's really good.
And editorially on point.
Yeah, because Nanny Di's book and Teddy Talks Talk tie up. Really weird. They knew nothing about what the other one was doing. Weird.
Oh right, it's the end of the show next.
It's just waiting for Betty and Teddy to ring. We've got them a bit earlier today. We're ahead of the game. So. Oh!
Hello!
Oh, I'm liking the green hat.
There you are. Yeah.
How are you, Mum?
Hi, Betty.
Hello, Mark.
Hi. Hey, how are you? Betty, on these lives, you're almost omnipotent, like God herself. It's because you're never on screen, but you're so authoritative. It's like we're all listening to God.
She's omnipotent.
Yes, she's omnipotent.
You look very foggy.
How's that? Is that a bit better? It is foggy out, Teddy.
This sums up 2020, doesn't it? Moving into 2021.
Look at your dad. Can you hear us? How's that?
The fog has cleared.
Oh, good. Anyway, so what are you talking to us about today?
Well, because the times are so quiet nowadays, because there isn't much we can do, so I'm returning to memories.
Ooh.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I'm returning to my first Hamlet.
Oh, nice.
So, in the 50s, young men, you know, like myself, when I was in the 50s, I was in my 20s, my early 20s. So we used to go to dance halls and stand against the wall, you know, hoping for something to happen.
Yeah.
Like catch a girl. And one night, I think it was in the Strand, actually, the dance hall, I was leaning against the wall, trying to look pretty, and this girl, you know, I don't know whether it was a shop assistant, secretary, very nice girl, sidles up to me, and she says, would you like to come to the theatre with me?
Where was she from? What was that accent?
Near Welsh. She was
Oh,
Welsh.
that was Welsh. I thought you were going to say she was Indian. She was Welsh.
Don't mention the Welsh accent in you, Nad.
Oh, no, I'm no good with the Welsh accent either. Yeah, go on.
So she said, would you like to come to the theatre with me?
Oh.
I said yeah.
She was a saucy type.
Yeah. She said, where shall we go? She said, there's a nice young Welshman doing very well with a play called Hamlet. Shakespeare. She said, it's at the Old Vic, and if you would like, we'll go there. She said, it's standing up room only in the gods. 10 pence.
Wow, 10 pence.
Yeah. Do you have 10 pence? She said.
Do you have 10 pence?
Romance was alive in the 50s.
She said, don't worry, I'll pay for you anyway. So we went to see the play. I thought it was for my own culture compared to what my way of thinking. I thought it's very complicated, this going around the houses a bit, you know. I mean, really setting up situation, knocking them down. It's basically a domestic, really. You know, the family having family troubles, you know. The dad being murdered by his brother, the mother helping him and all that, you know. But anyway, I enjoyed it. I said, it's a good insight into European culture. I was very glad to be there. And then we said, what shall we do now? We went round. There used to be a pub at the back of the theatre. We went out, stood outside the pub and watched their actors drinking beer.
Oh.
In the pub.
And who was in it?
Richard Burton.
Oh, my God. I wondered whether it was going to be Richard Burton.
The lovely Claire Bloom. We were all in love with Claire. You know, she was the epitome of the English rose at the time, you know. And it was a lovely evening, but I lost touch with Ruth after that evening. I never saw her.
Oh. Well, it sounds... how come you never saw her again?
I think she realized that I was a bit gone, you know.
What, bit of an idiot?
Culturally speaking, you know, although she was intelligent and educated, but not, you know, up to university level, but I was nowhere near.
So did she want to pontificate?
Well, you know, she was following her fancy that evening, you know, like I was. But sometimes, you know, things take 2 or 3 days to discover the truth, or a week, or a month, or a year.
Or in your case,
an evening.
An evening. Most of which you spent not talking to each other because you were watching Hamlet.
A 10 pence evening.
standing room only in the guards.
Oh, God.
Wow.
You know, I think in those days in the Old Vic, the guards used to be really in the guards, you know.
You were on the roof.
And so this is, it has amused me to remember it.
And amused all of us.
My first Hamlet, of course, I've seen several other Hamlets since then, but that was my very first. And I was very privileged. I realized years later.
Yeah.
I had been to the Young Vic, the home of Shakespeare at the time, and watched, you know, it was marvelous, actually, you know, if you just think of the words and the action
Yes.
of Richard Burton, it was wonderful.
Wow.
All the content to me was a little bit, you know,
Dodgy.
foggy like today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's so funny.
Yeah, well, we have to see if we can't really find these nuggets, little golden pieces in our lives, we're going to have an empty life if we're not careful.
Yes. And sometimes you don't realise how golden they were until you look back.
I know. I mean, I can see myself now leaning on the wall and Ruth sidling up to me.
with a thick Indian accent.
And you a little bit like Hamlet, having seen a ghost.
Well, I spoke then in a thick Arabic accent. She used to say, she said, you sound Welsh to me.
You sound
Oh, Dad, can we have more of your dating stories?
I think I told her it was the influence of Sinbad, I said. Sinbad the sailor. Came from the Arabian seas, landed in Cardiff.
Oh, that's so funny. We want more of Teddy's dates.
Yeah. Teddy's dating history.
Tips.
There you are.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thanks, Teddy.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
Oh,
Love seeing you.
lovely
Love
seeing
you.
Okay, so it's the end of the show.
And don't you think we need to have more of Teddy Talks dating history?
Oh, we need, come with me, we need Teddy, not only do we need Teddy Talks dating history, we need just to hear about almost every microscopic detail of his youth. And I'm so, no, it's just the end of the show, babe. It's the end of the show.
Bye.
I've had enough and I'm leaving.